8 years. That's how long it took before the truth came out, before anyone could finally piece together what happened to them. Two friends, eager for adventure, vanished in the remote deserts of Utah in 2011. Their disappearance went unnoticed for years, until 2019, when a forgotten mine revealed a secret that no one was prepared for. Before we begin, if you're new here, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Stories like this survive only when they're remembered, and your support keeps these voices alive. Lauren Miles was 23, a quiet, observant woman who loved old buildings and abandoned places. She kept a small journal wherever she went, scribbling notes about the people she met, the landscapes she passed, and the fleeting moments she wanted to remember. Her friend Evan Carter, 25, was loud and restless, always capturing the world through his camera lens, fascinated by abandoned structures and hidden corners of the American West. They had been friends since high school, opposites in personality but united by curiosity. Neither was romantically involved, but their bond was undeniable, a friendship forged over shared misadventures, late-night road trips, and a love for the unknown. By early 2011, life had thrown both of them off course. Lauren had lost her job at a small marketing firm when the company downsized, leaving her with a sense of restlessness. Evan's photography scholarship had fallen through, and he was struggling to figure out his next step. Both wanted escape, adventure, a taste of something real before the world pulled them under. And so, they decided to drive west, to explore Utah's deserts, quiet, rugged, and full of places no one else cared to see. They packed their Jeep meticulously: backpacks, cameras, climbing gear, water containers, and printed maps of abandoned mines Evan had discovered online. Lauren double-checked the straps and gear, while Evan balanced his tripod and camera on the passenger seat. They joked as they loaded. "Evan, if we get lost, at least we'll have Instagram-worthy photos of our misfortune." Lauren, rolling her eyes, "You always think about the photos first." Evan, "What can I say? Memories fade, pictures last forever." They left Grand Junction, Colorado, around late March, texting a few close friends that they'd be back in 4 or 5 days. That was the last anyone heard from them. The first day of the drive was uneventful. They passed red rock mesas, dry riverbeds, and stretches of desert where only the wind dared to move. Evan's camera captured Lauren laughing as the Jeep bounced over washboard roads, her hair catching the golden afternoon sunlight. They camped under an open sky that first night, talking about their dreams, fears, and plans for the future. But by the second day, the landscape grew harsher. Roads narrowed, sand drifted across tire tracks, and signs of civilization disappeared. They had entered an area near the San Rafael Desert, known for its isolation and unforgiving terrain. Cell service was gone, replaced only by a vast emptiness. Local gas station attendants in Green River remembered seeing the Jeep mid-morning, two young travelers, bright-eyed, joking about taking the road less traveled. They filled their tank and disappeared onto a path that disappeared on GPS. After that, silence. No calls. No social media updates. No signs. Initially, friends and family assumed they were camping off-grid. But days turned into a week, and weeks into a month. Fear began to settle. In mid-April, missing persons reports were filed in both Utah and Colorado. Searches began near Goblin Valley, but rescuers quickly realized the desert's vastness. Footprints appeared briefly in the sand, then vanished. Tire tracks faded after a mile. Their Jeep was nowhere to be found. Investigators documented every clue. A map marked where the Jeep was last seen, the few belongings discovered along washes, and the faint tracks that led nowhere. Each week, hope faded. By May, official search efforts were scaled back. But the desert doesn't forget. And the story of Lauren and Evan wasn't over. 8 years passed. Lauren and Evan had become names in cold case files, memories fading in the minds of most. But the desert doesn't let go that easily. In 2019, a small group of explorers, documenting abandoned mines for their online channel, inadvertently stumbled across a secret that would reopen the case and shock everyone who had thought it long over. The group consisted of 3 friends, Ryan Dorsey, Maya Lin, and Tomas Herrera. They had planned a weekend adventure, cameras, headlamps, and a sense of curiosity that bordered on obsession. Their goal: explore forgotten mine shafts deep in the San Rafael Desert. "Are we sure this is the right trail?" Maya asked, shading her eyes as she looked at the desert horizon. Ryan pointed toward a faint line in the sand, partially covered by wind-drifted sediment. "The GPS says this is the old mining access road. Could be nothing, or exactly what we're looking for." Tomas shrugged. "Either way, we're walking in. No turning back now." As they trekked, the landscape became increasingly desolate. Red sandstone formations jutted out like jagged teeth, and narrow canyons funneled the wind into eerie whistling noises. Shadows stretched unnaturally as the sun sank, giving even familiar shapes an alien quality. After about a mile, they reached the mouth of an old mine shaft. Half collapsed and hidden behind layers of sand and brush, the entrance looked almost deliberately concealed. "Ryan, looks like no one's been here for decades." Maya's flashlight flickered as she stepped closer. "It's cold. The air is cold for a desert evening." They hesitated at the entrance. Dust rose as they brushed away debris, revealing a rusted license plate. It was partially buried, but the numbers were faintly visible. Ryan froze. "Wait. I've seen this before. I think this belongs to missing persons from years ago." The explorers cautiously entered the mine. Their flashlights cut through darkness, illuminating old wooden beams, fractured walls, and graffiti etched into stone. Every step sent clouds of dust into the air, and the faint hum of metal on stone echoed eerily. Then Tomas froze. His light caught something partially buried in sand near the tunnel wall, fragments of clothing and bone. They stepped back, hearts pounding. Maya whispered, This can't be real." They immediately contacted the Emery County Sheriff's Office. Within hours, forensic teams arrived, sealing the mine. Over the next 3 days, teams excavated carefully, documenting everything meticulously. They found 2 skeletons, seated beside each other, their posture suggesting exhaustion or sheltering from something. Lauren's remains were near her hiking boots. Evan's camera lay nearby, corroded and cracked. Fragments of their backpacks, worn clothing, and personal effects helped confirm their identity. DNA testing sealed the confirmation: Lauren Miles and Evan Carter. The shock wasn't only in the discovery of their remains. It was the Jeep, found hidden in a natural depression nearby. Burned, shattered, and abandoned, the vehicle's ignition had been cut, and traces of accelerant were present. Maps and a GPS device lay inside, charred beyond recognition. Forensics initially theorized that the pair had gotten lost, panicked, and sought shelter in the mine. But the presence of the burned Jeep suggested someone else might have been involved. Investigators revisited a minor detail from 2011. A call from Lauren's phone, lasting less than 4 seconds, pinged near Dead Horse Ridge, 30 miles from the discovery site. The call went to an unknown device linked to a man named Jason Weller, a prospector known for exploring abandoned mines in the region. Jason had been questioned briefly in 2011 for seeing a gray Jeep near an access road but disappeared himself in 2015. His last GPS coordinate placed him 2 miles from the mine, raising questions that remain unanswered even today. Investigators pieced together a chilling timeline. Lauren and Evan likely encountered Jason Weller, or at least someone else with knowledge of the mines. Panic, disorientation, and the desert's unforgiving isolation contributed to their demise. But something deeper, something hidden in the mine's shadows, suggested that their deaths were not entirely accidental. The key to unraveling what happened lay in Evan's camera. Though battered by time and corrosion, forensic technicians managed to recover 47 photographs and one partially corrupted video file. What they revealed would change everything. The first images were bright, almost cheerful, Lauren laughing at Evan's antics, the desert sun casting golden light across sandstone cliffs. They appeared carefree, unaware of what was waiting for them. But gradually, the tone shifted. By photo number 32, the lighting was dimmer. Shadows stretched unnaturally along the canyon walls, and the photos became shakier, as if Evan had been hurried or afraid. One image captured their Jeep stopped on a narrow trail, tires partially sunk into sand. Another showed Evan pointing toward a chain-link fence warning. Caution: mine access restricted, property of Westfield Mining Company. This mine was not on any official map, suggesting it had been abandoned long before modern records. Photo number 36 depicted the interior of the mine. Tunnels carved crudely into the rock, old wooden supports rotting, and graffiti etched in faded red paint. One ominous message read, "Leave before the dark finds you." The next images revealed Lauren growing visibly anxious, glancing over her shoulder. Evan's camera captured the light of their flashlights dancing across the walls, illuminating strange, dark shapes in the corners, shapes that seemed to move slightly between frames. Photo number 44 was almost entirely blurred, just streaks of light. Photo number 45 captured Lauren mid-sentence, whispering something to Evan. Photo number 46, the last clear photo, revealed a dark silhouette near a tunnel corner, holding what appeared to be a metal tool. The final video file was corrupted, but fragments remained. Faint, shallow breathing. A distant clang of metal. A whisper. "Do you hear that?" And then static. When search teams re-entered the mine in 2019, they discovered something impossible. 3 sets of footprints preserved in dust. 2 matched Lauren and Evan's boots. The third was heavier, leading only into the mine. No exits. Deep within a collapsed shaft, investigators found a small lantern. Forensic analysis revealed it belonged to Jason Weller, the missing prospector. Oddly, the switch was off, not burned out, as if someone had intentionally extinguished it. This discovery suggested one of 2 things. Jason had sealed the chamber and turned off the lantern intentionally. Or someone else had been there. Either way, the evidence hinted at a presence beyond Lauren and Evan, a third party whose actions were never fully understood. Local legends soon resurfaced. Miners had long whispered about that part of the desert, abandoned shafts that drove explorers mad, trapped by unseen hazards, or worse, something that lingered in the tunnels, watching. The mine had earned a new name among locals, the Hollow Vein. Investigators expanded the search, mapping every shaft, every tunnel. Deep in one collapsed section, they discovered a hidden passage, small, narrow, sealed. Inside was a chamber that changed everything. A rusted cot, broken tools, and a wooden crate labeled Westfield Mining Company filled the room. On the wall, scratched into stone, 3 entered, 2 remain. Near the inscription, traces of denim fibers were found, worn, sweat-stained, corroded with time. DNA testing confirmed Jason Weller. Inside a lunch tin were water-damaged notebook pages. "They came here yesterday, said they were exploring." The girls scared. "The man won't stop asking questions. I told them not to go further." There's something breathing down there. If I don't make it out, don't open the lower tunnel. Jason's body was never recovered. The official narrative suggested Lauren and Evan became trapped, exhausted, possibly disoriented, and died within the mine. But the cryptic message, the footprints, the silhouette in Evan's photos, they suggested something else. The mine's darkness was alive in some way, or another presence had influenced their final hours. When forensic teams returned to the mine to investigate the newly discovered tunnel, they found a narrow passage barely wide enough for one person. The walls were rough, jagged, and coated with years of sand and dust. It had clearly been sealed intentionally, not collapsed naturally. After hours of careful excavation, the passage opened into a small chamber, roughly the size of a bedroom. Inside were remnants of what looked like an old miner's shelter, a rusted cot, broken tools, a battery-powered lantern, and a wooden crate marked Westfield Mining Company. On the wall, etched into stone in rough handwriting, were words that made investigators stop cold. 3 entered. 2 remain. Near the inscription were fragments of denim fibers, heavily worn, corroded with time. DNA testing confirmed what no one dared hope: Jason Weller. Inside a small metal lunch tin lay water-damaged notebook pages. Faded ink revealed Jason's warning. They came here yesterday, said they were exploring. The girl's scared. The man won't stop asking questions. I told them not to go further. There's something breathing down there. If I don't make it out, don't open the lower tunnel. Jason Weller's body was never found. Only fragments of his presence remained: his lantern, the fibers, the inscribed warning. The evidence suggested a chilling scenario. Lauren and Evan likely encountered Jason, or at least the mine's hidden dangers, and became trapped. Panic and exhaustion may have caused their final resting posture, sitting side by side, bracing each other as the desert closed in. But the mysterious footprints, the silhouette in the final photo, and Jason's cryptic messages suggested something else: an unseen presence, lurking in the shadows, watching, influencing the final moments of the 3 explorers. Locals began to whisper again. Stories of abandoned shafts that swallow travelers resurfaced. Some claimed the hollow vein had never been just a mine, that it held a weight, a presence, something that preyed on curiosity and fear alike. Families reacted in deeply personal ways. Lauren's mother said she never visited the site. She kept only the last photo, where Lauren looked back over her shoulder, eyes wide, sensing something unknown. "You can see it in her eyes," she said. She knew something was wrong. She just didn't know it was already too late. Evan's father drives through Utah every year on the anniversary of their disappearance, leaving a photo of the 2 friends at the desert's edge where the road fades into dust. Investigators documented every detail, but questions remained unanswered. What really happened to Jason Weller? Who or what did the footprints belong to? Was there truly something in the tunnels beyond human understanding? Even the recovered camera held one final clue: a corrupted image, barely visible, showing a dark shape crawling just out of the flashlight beam, unidentifiable, moving. Some mysteries stay buried not because we cannot solve them, but because the truth is too heavy to carry. Lauren and Evan's last moments were likely spent together, holding on to the friendship that had defined their lives, facing the desert's silence and the mine's darkness. And maybe that is all we can know, that they were never alone in spirit, and their courage, curiosity, and bond endured even in the unforgiving sands of Utah. If stories like this matter to you, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Your support helps bring forgotten stories to light, keeps memories alive, and ensures that the voices of those who disappeared are never silenced. Lauren and Evan's story is one of adventure, trust, and the unknowable dangers that sometimes lurk just out of sight. 2 friends, lost to the desert and the mind that never gave them back. But never forgotten.